All right, we are back with some more BSL action. I am now, of course, joined by Mr. Bombastic himself. We just completed Group C. Now we're going in to Group D. We've got eOnZerG, Kame, the fourth player from this group, Hawk, my insurance salesman, and
Yeah.
then Dandy, the lone Terran wolf. So this should be a great group because I'm a big fan of Dandy. His TVZ is really super solid. Then we have eOnZerG, who's always a very dangerous Zerg player. And then Hawk actually looks very strong lately. And then the return of Kame, who I don't think has played in BSL that much, but the last time I saw him on the ladder, he was doing very well. So I actually think he has a good shot. Actually, I think Kami's the player that pulled out that weird gas timing in ZVZ. I'm sure you have no idea what I'm talking about, but
Yeah,
people
I
that
don't
have
know
watched BSL,
what you're talking
people
about,
that have
man.
watched BSL, Kami had this weird gas opener in ZVZ where it gave him like an extra 100 gas, but ended up still losing. So we'll see if he's refined that a little bit.
Well, that sounds like a good opening.
Well, it was a kind of a weird opener, and it was a benzene, so it's kind of hard to judge, benzene because of how big it is. So we'll see.
Well, of course, Benzene's not a map in this season, so.
Nope. Got power
uh,
bond, baby. That's my map.
yeah, Powerbond, the older brother or something. No, I don't know. We'll have to see here then. This group. We've got eOnZerG and Dandy, who have been kind of staples in the BSL and probably are the favorites. But we also have Hawk, who had a 6 showing last season and has generally been playing really solidly recently, who can definitely take down either of them. And then eOnZerG, kind of the wild card here, who basically did come into this tournament as a wild card. He was, of course, the replacement for Red Duck, who had to drop out of the tournament. So, I mean, this group, it is going to be a bit hard to predict. I feel like eOnZerG and Dandy are safe predictions, but Hawk can definitely give them a run for their money. And eOnZerG, I mean, it is going to be ZVZ here for this first match. And best of one ZVZ, anything can happen.
Yeah, ZVZ obviously a very volatile matchup. And remember, I was mentioning that Crossy Hive game, and the opponent in that game was actually Hawk, so there's potential to see some Hive play, maybe, if it gets really wild in one of the ZVZ matchups. You see, of course, statistics here. Does that say an 86% win rate for eOnZerG in ZVZ? I think that's what it says. That's bonkers.
Yeah.
When you think of top tier ZVZ in the foreign scene, really there's, I guess, 3 now with Zeke. There's Zeke, eOnZerG, and True Touch. The Remote Control. It's absolutely wild, so it's no shocker to me that it's 86% for eOnZerG. Meanwhile, not a lot of games for Kame. As I mentioned, he has that weird gas opener, and you can see that it's only a 20% win rate versus Zerg, but he is very good. He could definitely take down eOnZerG.
Yeah, and I remember eOnZerG, in BSL 10, right? He had that all Zerg group that he got out of fairly easily. But that was also with Tyler Byron in there, who dropped out. Yeah, we'll have to see. Polypoid is going to be the first map between these two. And 4-player maps in ZVZ can be kind of very variance filled, given just build order selection and scouting paths and stuff like that. So we'll have to see. Literally anything can happen. I am really curious to see what Kame has planned here against eOnZerG.
Yeah, so our first map is, of course, going to be Polypoid. So let's just get right into the game. I want to see if eOnZerG can take a quick victory here, or if Kame can take a potential upset. We already saw it earlier today. DeWalt being eliminated already. So let's kick off Group D with eOnZerG versus eOnZerG.
Or, maybe the players are AFK, so. Oh, he's back.
All right, in the top right, it is Kame Zerg.
And in the bottom left, it is eOnZerG.
You know what I was actually looking for the most in this particular series? Right, what we already see here. Is anybody going to go for the Clown Scout, as you call it? And it is not going to be the case. It is going to be the normal scout pattern. Kames are going top left. Eons are going bottom right. So, of course, nobody's going to get a first scout off here.
Well, we saw in that game, Cross versus Gornich,
Yeah.
like how scouting can be different. Like Gornich, I don't know if he's like, I don't know if in his mind he's like, I'm gonna clown scout on purpose, but it worked out because Cross assumed that he would just normal like standard scout, you know. So, but a lot of the times, especially in a tournament game, that can be like that can backfire quite a bit when you're trying to meta scout people, because. You know, I remember I played. I don't know if you saw my game versus Snow on Silted.
If I saw it, I casted it. I saw it.
But I came in there and his probe was coming from.
I know.
I know. That was so tilting.
Yeah, I know you were angry, for sure. And that was a good mind game from Snow. So.
Can you believe that?
Well. As I was watching it unfold, I couldn't believe it. Now
that
we've
was
got
such a nightmare, dude. Yeah, 12 pool. Okay, no, we can get into this game, but
it's a nightmare because you're playing a pro, and then
well, I was gonna say, okay, here's the story, right? Like you get in there, it's like okay, you have to play, and then I get into a channel, and it's like these guys, they're waiting for me. Okay, Snow, sorry, action, and I gotta be like, hi, go game. And then just back to back getting slapped over the head by these guys. And you're like, I just want to show these guys that I'm competent. And then the games are all disastrous. Back to back. It was a great experience.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. I mean, I could talk about my days in ByClan, but I'll skip that for now because we've got 12 pool versus 12 hatch cross spawns. So this is going to be an amazing opener for eOnZerG, of course. He's not going to be punished at all. So, I mean, you talk about ZVZ, how somebody's got to open for lair. If somebody opens lair, the other player should open for speed. But with these particular openers, imagine that both players can just mirror the build, right? Like, nobody has to deal. Like, eOnZerG does, I mean, Kame Zerg doesn't have to make a really slick move here with speed first, right?
Yeah, I don't know what other Zerg players think, but I think generally if you're if you have the build order advantage, you want to mirror what the opponent is doing, so lair first or speed first. And if you have the build order disadvantage, you want to basically be doing what they're not doing. That's my little idea there. I don't know if it's quite true in all circumstances, but so far, though, like these types of, especially like with the 12 hatch versus 12 pool, or like just these expansion type plays are usually much more slow paced anyway than the pool first.
Well, we
than
see
the 9 pool or whatever. Sorry.
Yes. Well, we saw Kame Zerg just send a single link out to see what was going on. He saw that the hatchery's already done, so he knows that eOnZerG got away with the 12 hatch opener, so a slight advantage for eOnZerG right now. Meanwhile, lair is going to be completing for Kame Zerg pretty soon. Looks like eOnZerG got speed and Kame Zerg skipped it, so he's going to have a slight advantage. Yep, he ended up skipping it and instead ends up building a creep colony. We saw Gornich do this. Now eOnZerG, he's going to start getting aggressive. Now, can that Overlord intercept these lings? I see it's going to be on the path of eOnZerG, but will it see it? Yep, it is going to see it. So eOnZerG, or Kame Zerg, is going to be ready for this.
Yeah, I mean, he has a Sunken coming along, and if he can hold this without getting link speed, eOnZerG is being so incredibly aggressive here. The lair does finish. Is he going to pull the trigger and go? No speed yet for Kame Zerg. That is so many more links for eOnZerG. But Kame Zerg, a bunch of links pop from the second hatchery, but the Sunken is going to go down without speed. Sunken does go down, and now without speed, Kame is going to have a very hard time defending, and the trades are still going in eOnZerG's favor, and that's it. He broke him. That's it.
It's over. So this is going to be a quick, easy game for eOnZerG. He just built a lot of links. It went unscouted, and he's going to take Kame Zerg down. in a sub 5-minute game. And this is pretty much what eOnZerG does. He's one of the most aggressive Zergs in all of BSL. When he sees a weakness or he suspects you're weak, he will just kill you. He's not one where he's like, well, I can just out macro you. He can do that too, but he will just outright go and kill you. He that's just what he does.
Yeah. And really, really fast game there from him. So kind of unfortunate there for Kame, but that's just how ZVZ goes sometimes. And yeah, well, eOnZerG is in the winners bracket now, in the winners match rather, and Kame does go down to the losers. So eOnZerG is going to be waiting for these next two players, Dandy versus Hawk, and that's going to be a sick matchup.
Yeah, Hawk is a very, very good Zerg, but Dandy is arguably the best South American Terran. You know, you can argue him to be the best foreign Terran, so it's going to be a hard matchup for Hawk in particular. Dandy is really, really strong, and it's going to be on Polypoid, which is an amazing Terran map, of course. But, you know, once Zerg gets their econ rolling on 4 bases, we saw Kenzie the other day versus Ultra, got 4 bases up and running really quickly, got his econ rolling, but then drops, just turn the tides completely. So I think Hawk can play similar to Kenzie, he can really power really hard. He has great muta control. So there is a world where Hawk could take down Dandy. I know that for a fact.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say honestly this matchup here, I mean, I would imagine Dandy is for sure a slight favorite, but I would say maybe like 55-45. From, you know, I haven't seen Dandy play TVZ in a while, but I would imagine they're very, very close in skill level. And I'm curious to see how it goes. I mean, Hawk CVT, I think, is probably his worst matchup, is the thing here. Whereas Dandy, it is his best matchup, TVZ is. So that's another thing that can play into it. Polypoid is the type of map that, I mean, we saw Ultra just completely dismantle you know, Kenzie yesterday, and this is the type of map that kind of allows a Terran player to really play their game very confidently and play a very standard style. Like, you don't need to think about going Valkyries, you don't need to think about doing something kind of out there. You can just play a nice solid 2 racks into macro, and that's definitely going to favor Dandy. So, you know, I would expect Danny to win, but Hawk, when he plays his game, he can be extremely solid. He has really good mutalist control. And if Dandy, sometimes, you know, he does overstep in this matchup, he can get instantly punished, and Hawk can get a clean win here too as well. So I really don't know what to expect.
Yeah, well, one move that I know Dandy likes to do is the like 2 or 3 tank push to try and just bust you. Now that seems to be making a comeback in, you know, some games that I've seen recently from pros, also in ASL. So Hawk is gonna have to be careful there because he's not gonna be able to just, you know, be confident that all he has to do is get out a single defiler at around the 12-minute mark and he'll be able to hold off, you know, SK Terran forever. He will potentially face a tank push at around the 10-minute mark, so he's going to have to be very clean on his hive timing. Dandy, just like eOnZerG, will just go out and kill you. We're getting a look at the records here. Dandy across the board, very high win rate. Surprisingly, his TVT is his highest matchup, 75% win rate, but as you mentioned, versus Zerg, also very high. And Hawk, 83% win rate versus Terran. So he's a killer in this matchup, but again, sample size is very low. It's only 15 games.
Yeah, that's surprising. I remember last season, Hawk definitely played a ZVT or 2. Who was it against? He was in that group with Casper that he made it out of, and then he played Medino. So he won versus both of those players. And, you know, I mean, he can be really good at ZVT, but I don't know, man. Dandy's really strong in this matchup.
Yeah, so let's see how strong Dandy is and get into the game between Dandy and Hawk on Polypoid. Winner's going to be facing off against eOnZerG in the winner's match. In the top right, our Terran player representing Seoul. It is Dandy.
And in the top left, it is Hawk, the American accountant Zerg. Is he actually an accountant? I forget what, like, that's what he does, right?
I don't remember what he does. I've just been told
he
he's
does
like
something
a car
like that.
He's an insurance salesman. He's a car salesman. I mean, he's a whole.
He works with sheets for sure. In spreadsheets.
Yeah, definitely, I can tell that he
yeah.
obviously does that. Well, my thoughts on Hawk is similar to what I was talking about with Striker, or whenever we see Striker, is I think Hawk has really good mid and late game, like once he gets his econ going, but early game, he obviously has good muta control, but you can go and kill him in the early game. And Dandy definitely has a very, very strong early game, so I'm a bit worried for Hawk in that sense. But if he gets his bases up and running, then all of a sudden I think I would favor Hawk a little bit, especially once he gets that fourth base. But we saw Ultra just crush Kenzie yesterday, and that BC play comboed with the constant bio production and pushes all over the map, I think that could be a winning move for Dandy if he decides to go for that style.
That's definitely how TVZ should be played, but Ultra is the first non-Korean that I've seen play that style so cleanly. So even Dandy, I think I'd be surprised if, and we'll see if he approaches it that way too. I mean, we'll see if he'll even get to that stage in the game. But that's definitely how, you know, the meta TVZ is being played right now. So, but not many non-Koreans are playing like that. So we'll have to see how Dandy approaches it. Dandy in general, his mid game is very solid in this matchup. He does do kind of just standard bio stuff into a 2-port vessel, and then just pressures really well, and you know, has solid mechanics. So he can, you know, he's definitely no slouch himself, but it is a different beast when you play versus 4 gas Zerg versus 4 base Zerg or 3 base Zerg, getting on 4 gas and having to play late game. But you know, we have to get there, and along the way, a lot of things can happen. Zerg can die to random busts. Terran can die from a poor trade against Mutalisks. Hawk could go for something like Lurker play. So far, Hawk is going for 2-hatch play.
Yeah, we just see standard opener from Dandy. It's going to be 1 Marine command center follow-up. He did get off the first scout, so he can get up that command center very greedily. Of course, we are looking to see, will he go for some type of tech type of play? Actually, my experience watching Dandy is, I was going to say he generally just plays 2 racks, but that is going to be a gas. Now, remember, yesterday we saw Ultra rush eBay, despite seeing that it's a 2-hatch play. So I wonder if this is going to be another eBay follow-up, but I think this might just be the Valkyrie opener.
Well, this is fine, though. Like, no, it's an eBay for sure. Yeah,
wow, it is an eBay at the top.
This is obviously a really strong build from Terran, but on these positions, plus the fact that you cannot get a wall off, so you have to deal with possible link threats, it can be very scary because, you know, you need to get the bunker out as well. And the flight distance is, it's not like it's cross map where Zerg has to get, you know, has to fly their Mutalisks a significant distance. So we'll see. Like, interesting choice of builds from Dandy, but at the same time, Hawk tends to be very, very passive. He's not the type of player, he's not like Cross or something where, you know, Cross is like very aggressive and in your face and makes a lot of lings early, but Hawk likes to just be calculated and just chill out. So I don't think Dandy's going to get punished for this, actually.
Yeah, of course, if Hawk knew this was an eBay, he would probably ling all in this. But of course, he did not spot the eBay at all. And still, the SCV is alive in the main, so this is an amazing scout for Dandy. Even spots that it's going to be Spire. I mean, yeah, you expect it, but you always want to be sure, because if Lurker comes and you're building all these turrets, well, I mean, turrets don't help you at all in that scenario. So this is a really nice scout from Dandy. He gets away with not even having to build a bunker. Doesn't even have to build a depot on the low ground. He's following up with 3 racks. Academy is actually kind of slow. This is like a 415 Academy. Yeah. So his range upgrade is going to be slow. Meanwhile, Hawk is taking a very fast third base at mid left.
This is insane from Dandy. He didn't even build a bunker here. Like, absolutely crazy. This, like, you play this on ladder, you're dead. But Hawk, again, he's very, very passive in the early game, so Dandy, I think, is playing a bit to the player. I don't know how much history these two guys have specifically, but Dandy is getting away with murder, with absolute murder. Especially, I mean, this was an 18 gas, which is the fastest gas you could have for a build like this, and not having to build a bunker. I mean, this is just an insane spot to be in as Terran and not get punished for it.
Yeah, this is pretty much the dream opener for Dan. He may even 5 racks with this opener because he's already got 4 barracks down. He's got good SCV count. He was able to skip his comstat for quite a while. Now turrets are coming down. He doesn't have that many Marines though, so he is going to have to play passive for now. I like that Hawk didn't overbuild Lings. He does only have 4 out on the map. He does have his 3rd base already up. He's already taken the gas too, so he's going to have that coming in for him pretty soon. Now, meanwhile, because Dandy went for 4 barracks, that means that his factory is going to be a little bit later. Oh, he can't lose these medics.
Yeah, but I mean, at this point, Terran usually kind of chills back anyway until range finishes. So this is only 1 turret at the main. I'm surprised about Dandy's positioning here. You know, most of the time you kind of want to have your bio kind of closer to your main base, but doesn't look like Hawk wanted to go in for that 1 turret. You know, that was definitely an opportunity. He's going to go in and actually shave off a couple of Marines before range finishes. So I do like that from him. Doesn't lose a Mutalisk just yet. But +1 is about to kick in and range is about to kick in.
Well, I want to point out I'm not even sure if Dandy has range or has started range because he has a lot of gas and he pulled off of his gas quite soon.
No, he had a huge gas bank.
Okay, so I assumed he didn't miss it, but that does happen sometimes. Meanwhile, factory has gone up at about 645. So actually the factory is quite quick. Also, he has 5 barracks. And so as I said, Dandy has an extremely strong early game. He's already feeling confident with a single bio ball. Now this could get dangerous because remember there is high ground. Oh wow, he instantly kills the Mutalisk, but the Mutalisk spray is going to eventually take this down, I think. But no, Hawk's going to trade a lot of Mutalisk here.
This is a terrible trade for Hawk, and honestly, he's going to go in and kill... These are not really good trades for the Zerg player. He does lose a lot of Mutalisks, but does kill the first bio ball. 1 medic survives though. That's definitely not nothing there. And in general, now Hawk has to remake a bunch of his Mutalisks. I don't really like how Hawk has been playing this. I mean, he's just left. He let Terran do absolutely anything he wanted to, and didn't put any pressure on. And now look, Terran has huge economy. He has all the infrastructure out. This is looking really bad for Zerg.
Yeah, and Terran is going into double vessel production. It's not going to be a tank push. I think if... Okay, I did see scan. I was going to say, I think if Dandy had scanned before putting down the starport, he would have gone for a tank push because the Queen's Nest looks like it's going to be quite slow. But as played, this is a fine opener anyways. Dandy still doesn't know about where the 3rd base is. Hawk went for +1 weapon, so he has to trade well with these Mutalisks. It's like, he's got to do something with them. For now, he's really not done much. But now Dandy's being a little bit aggro here. He might bleed off another group.
Yeah, he doesn't have enough Marines to be out this aggressively, and I feel like the thing is Dandy's build is coming online really fast. Like you can see he has a 6th racks going, but there's no way you can afford this as Terran. He actually cut a lot of Marines to be able to get his build going this fast, and you can see with these 2 lurkers and a bunch of Mutalisks, I think like Hawk, maybe he's just done it here. He's gonna get lurkers burrowed outside of the Terran's base, supported with the Mutalisks. That's gonna be absolutely massive. But this is a good flank though. I mean, Hawk has to deal with one of these groups before they get an encirclement around the lurkers. This outside group gets completely demolished, and all of a sudden there's a contain going. Vessels aren't out. Just now they start. This is really bad for Terran.
Oh, the lurkers unburrowed for a second and repositioned, and now I think that these lurkers are all going to fall. The mutas are taking so much damage. Mutas fall too, and this was the move that Dandy needed to get outside of his base. He's now got a decent medic count. He's got a decent marine count. There's no hive, man. Like, there's no Queen's Nest anywhere. So Hawk is just all in with this. And once the vessels start coming out, this is going to be doomsday for him. You have to have defilers once vessels start coming out.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, this is a lot of lurkers, and Terran has no way of pushing out against lurkers. Like the factory is just kind of chilling around. He didn't even start to radiate. I think he's using all his gas to make vessels and upgrades. I honestly
bunkers.
Yeah, if he builds bunkers, that would be good, but I don't think he has a radiate, and one bunker is not going to cut it.
Okay, well, Marines are getting into position, but are they going to get splashed by the lurkers? For now, the lurkers are falling, but there's just a little bit too much Zerg for right now, so a massive contain is going to be set up. But as I stated, okay, that's actually a lot of lurkers, so maybe Hawk can bust this down. There's only one bunker. I don't think armor has completed for Terran either. Let's see how the lurker spines are. Dandy's going to retreat behind his bunker. That bunker is going to fall, and this might be Hawk pushing through the natural.
Yeah, it's over. He's done it. I mean, there's no response to these lurkers. He doesn't have, again, he doesn't have the radiate.
Okay, yeah, it looks like it's just going to be flat out too many lurkers, too much production from Hawk. Now a radiate comes in, but this is like 10 lurkers, and this is going to be Dandy being way too greedy, and he gets punished by an all-inning Zerg.
Yeah.
Goodbye, SCVs.
And the thing is, Hawk is just going to keep rallying lurkers. I mean, there is a world where the third and fourth vessel, he cannot lose that one vessel to the Mutalisk, though. Oh my god, if he loses the vessel, it'd be really painful. Now he only has one vessel left. I was gonna say there's a world where if he gets up to 4 vessels and somehow starts irradiating these lurkers down, he could stabilize. But now, I mean, look, so many lurkers left over. There's no irradiates onto them just yet. Zerg is buying so much time. You know, Hawk, if he just makes a Queen's Nest behind this, he's gonna get Defilers as well. Yeah, that's it.
Well, we were talking about how Hawk is kind of a little bit weaker in the early game, but he not looking weak here. Look at that lurker line. It's just endless, and Dandy's gonna die. This is it. Goodbye. Oh, he's on top of the production. GG. So Dandy, he's gonna be in the losers match, and it's gonna be a ZVZ between Hawk and Zerg in our winners match.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like Dandy just somehow, like, when Zerg gets that few Mutalisks, right? Because Hawk was kind of banking his resources to make a bunch of lurkers. Terran should be, especially after the trades, the first trades that Hawk had, Terran should just be ramming their units down the Zerg's throat and not giving them the opportunity to get that contained, especially when you get an opening like Dandy did. You have +1, you have 4 racks, you have even the 5th racks really fast. And I don't know, like, it seemed like his build was kind of so fast that he must have cut Marines, or he wasn't reinforcing. Like, he had a huge group of Marines at his natural that weren't with his main group. Why aren't those out on the map? So just really kind of unfortunate there for Dandy, because I feel like the early game was just like, he got away with murder, Nyokin. I mean, you and I both know. So, like, the fact that he got the best build possible, and he still got, and not just that, it's not just that he had the best build, he had the best trades too versus the Mutalisks early on. Like, everything was kind of lined up for him to just take that game, and he got completely obliterated by that mid-game Mutalurker timing.
Well, I noticed that the scans were in the main and the natural of Hawk the entire time. I don't even know if he ever scanned the Hydrogen, because it was at mid-left. He may have thought that this was just all in Mutaling for whatever reason, and got completely caught off guard. As I stated before, Dandy really does like to go for a tank push, so he may have really thought that this is just Mutaling, man. But unfortunately, that was not the case, and he gets punished really, really hard. I actually thought once Bonkers went up, he could hold it, but not the case. So it's going to be eOnZerG versus Hawk in our winners match, and then Kame versus Dandy in the losers match. They're going to be going into Power Bond as our winners match finals, of course. Again, player statistics coming in here. eOnZerG, 86% win rate. We've been talking about how the ZVZ matchup has kind of changed a little bit. We even see players pull out Hydralisk sometimes. We see Spores more often. But like we saw earlier, eOnZerG, when he smells blood, no, you're not going to build Spores. No, you're not going to build a Hydrogen. You're just going to go and die. That's what he does. We saw him do that versus Kame Zerg. So I wonder what Hawk's response is going to be for somebody as aggressive as eOnZerG.
Yeah, I mean, I have no idea what to expect, especially on a map like Power Bond. It is a 3-player map. It does have a high ground, though. so that usually is conducive to more standard games. But definitely if one player gets the scout and the other player doesn't, like it's very likely on a 3-player map that one player gets the scout and the other player doesn't, so that can be extremely annoying to deal with. But we'll have to see. I don't know, man, but either way, thinking about it now, I feel like both these players have a really good chance to advance regardless of what happens here, because obviously the winner gets through, but the loser plays Dandy. If it's Hawk, he's gonna feel pretty good after that game, and if it's eOnZerG, I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, we will see, because even though Dandy lost the game, his Terran versus Zerg is immaculate most of the time. So our players are ready. I am ready. Let's find out who's going to make it out in first place of Group D. So in the mid-left position, our blue American
BSL13.
insurance salesman. It is Hawk.
And in the mid-right, it is eOnZerG.
I saw the chat blowing up about your Sheets comment, man. They were talking about pivot tables and all that. Where's Jae-Yoon and Lumar? Right? They know all about that type of stuff.
I don't even want to hear it.
I was atting Jae-Yoon on the Discord after his victory, and he just hit and run, man. He's already gone. Like, I
Yeah,
added
he's
him,
gone,
like,
dude.
5 times, like, at
He's
Jae-Yoon,
a
at
married
Jae-Yoon.
man, dude. He came
don't got
in,
time for,
won
like-
his group, and now he's swooing his wife.
Yeah, he's just like, yeah, I smacked the wall, and I'm out of there. No big
Yeah.
deal. You see me in the round of 16. I mean, you'll probably see me in the finals. That's probably exactly what he said
Yeah,
to all of his fans out there. It's like, yeah, no big deal.
absolute legend, dude. What a sick performance from Jae-Yoon. I'm actually really, really happy for him. Of course, you and I both know that Jae-Yoon can be kind of he's been kind of emo compared, with when it comes to StarCraft. Like, I think Jae-Yoon, he's one of those players who is like, he's actually really, really, really high skill, but just doesn't have the opportunity to play as much as he wants to, and his results have been kind of like really disappointing him, right? And it kind of weighs on him quite a bit. But to have a nice result like that, I mean, that is an incredible result. He was in the group of death and absolutely smacked through it. So that's going to be nice for his confidence. And, I'm obviously happy to see that. But for now, eOnZerG is going for what was that? That was like a 12 pull. And so is Hawk.
Yeah, so interception in the middle of the map. Both players scouted each other's overlords and instantly put down the pool when they noticed it. Gas follow-up as expected from both players also. So we will just wait and see. Is anybody going to deviate? Is anybody going to go speed first? Is anybody going to go lair first? Or eOnZerG sending down a drone, of course. Hawk sending down a matching drone. So everything just identical. Do notice, actually, there's a slight mineral lead for eOnZerG.
Yeah, I think that could also be the mining at this base might be more efficient than the other base. Generally, I feel like, well, who knows? I mean, maybe eOnZerG boosted a couple of his minerals. There's some Zerg Gosus that know this whole thing, but sometimes some bases just mine slightly faster than others, and that's why.
Well, 100 gas for eOnZerG. I think it went into speed. Is that right? I have to get a look at his base. I didn't see his actual mineral. Yeah, he ended up going for speed. So actually a deviation here. And Hawk is going to have to be careful because his lair is going to be the build choice. Wow. Did he really only build 2 lings? And he built a drone. eOnZerG sees this, man. I already feel like the game's over because eOnZerG sees you build an extra drone and he's going speed.
Yeah.
No, that's not happening. That's not allowed.
Yeah, incredibly greedy from Hawk, skipping speed and getting drones. I mean, I was gonna say, like, when it's mirror builds like this, going for the lair is really nice because then you just have to defend. But defending when you're down, yeah, that was just really greedy from Hawk, and he's gonna get absolutely blasted here. I mean, I don't see him defending this. Speed is gonna finish in a second.
yeah, in like 15 seconds it's going to complete. Now the link count is even, but eOnZerG got the favorable trade, and already drones are going to be pulled down. It's 5 versus 2. Is this already over?
Yeah, it's over. His speed's done. Absolutely demolished. I mean, we'll see. The drones are doing a nice job at defending.
Those 2 lings at the bottom picked off the weak lings for eOnZerG, so actually that's not a bad trade. However, losing 4 drones worth of mining, that is horrible for
The
Hawk.
thing is,
also,
this layer is worthless because he can't even make a spire.
Yeah, and he only has 1 on gas.
This is already really, really bad. The spire is faster for eOnZerG despite going speed first, so already eOnZerG is in a better position. But I mean, I'm a bit surprised here, to be honest. I thought Hawk would just straight up be dead, but making that sunken is not good either for him. And that's kind of surprising, actually, that he is making that creep colony, but he's on the back foot, man. This is really bad for him.
Oh my god, a creep colony also. This is just a nightmare for Hawk. Meanwhile, eOnZerG, he's continuing to pump out lings. He does have, I think he even has an even drone count. He's got way more lings, obviously. No drones at his naturals, though. Okay, just constant lings. And there's no overlord in the base, so actually Hawk doesn't know if this is constant ling production or if this is actually eOnZerG droning behind it. We see that's not the case. Wow, he ended up going around the overlord.
Oh my god, dude. He's actually gonna miss all these links, but the thing is, he does see a bunch of links kind of running at his natural, so I'm only, you know, if you're in Hawk's shoes, you're kind of assuming it. It's crazy how aggressive eOnZerG is. He has no drones at his natural. He's just like, I'm gonna bust you, but that is a sunken. And is that sunken gonna be enough? I mean, so many more links pop for Hawk. This was so crazy aggressive from eOnZerG. I'm surprised actually that he would just not make a single drone this entire time. And oh, okay, his spire is there. I was gonna say, did he cancel his spire? But probably Scourge are gonna be the follow-up here for eOnZerG. But the thing, you know, generally you do this ling attack right before Mutalisks, and then you follow up with Scourge to actually connect with the Mutalisks. But because that failed, I mean, Hawk can just counter pressure.
That's a lot of lings for Hawk, but the Mutas are going to save the day for eOnZerG. Oh no, Hawk is going to bleed off all of his lings, but
he can kill the spire.
Gotta be careful. He might lose that spire, as you mentioned. No, he's not.
Oh my god, that was so close. But Hawk himself actually has no drones. He went for this ballsy counterattack. He really invested into just mass ling, and now he's behind in supply, has no Mutalisks, so the thing is, though, eOnZerG cannot just counterattack because obviously this ling threat from Hawk is still present. You can see that eOnZerG does have the scent of those lings, ever so slightly, seeing them in the fog of war, but Hawk does juke them, and he's gonna go for another attack. Now, this in conjunction with a bunch of Scourge and Mutalisks, if he has the ling advantage, this might break eOnZerG. He actually catches him in the middle of the map.
Oh, but it looks like somehow eOnZerG managed to escape, and it ended up being Hawk taking the Scourge hits. Now it's 5 Mutas versus 3, and 2 Scourge are chasing him, and they connect and kill a Mutalisk, and this is going to be game over. eOnZerG is going to take this game. He just simply has too much air. The only hope for Hawk now is that this ling counterattack does devastating amounts of damage.
Yeah, but I mean, this is going to be a Mutalisk dogfight, but eOnZerG has just way more Mutalisks, so he is going to be able to brute force, and now even gets the ling advantage. The Sunk is going to defend Hawk's natural, but the main base is wide open. Those 2 lings can actually kill a drone. It goes down. Another one goes down as well. Those were weak from the Mutalisks earlier, and if they kill another, I mean, this is already game-ending damage. You can see eOnZerG's supply just shooting straight up. eOnZerG going to take some time to just gather and group his Mutalisks together, and he's going to go in for the death blow.
Yeah, unrecoverable lead. eOnZerG, he's up 14 supply. I mean, that's just ridiculous in ZVZ, especially when one player has a total of only 22 supply. Creep Colony trick there to get out an extra Mutalisk for eOnZerG. There's like 5 drones mining minerals, man, for Hawk. He just has no econ. He takes his gas nat, but he can't mine it.
Yeah.
Well, I guess he's going to mine with 1, but 11. Was that 11 Mutalisks versus like 5?
That's a lot of Mutalisks.
That is a lot of Mutalisks, and there's only 5 for Hawk.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised eOnZerG kind of pivoted here. He's making drones, and that's really that's actually kind of weird to see from eOnZerG of all players. You know, we're talking about how like he's always so aggressive, gets any window of opportunity, but here when the game is over, he's just like, no, you know what? Now I'm gonna drone, just make sure I don't lose. But I mean, you know, you can respect that. He is just making sure he's in a good spot. Now he's gonna go for the jugular. Does see that there is a decent amount of Mutalisks, but he has a huge flock himself. Just has to micro this well enough to not lose too much to the Scourge, and you can see he's dancing around the Scourge and finally cleans them all up. He's gonna go for that fight. He has more Mutalisks. Hawk GG's, and eOnZerG is out in the first place.
Yeah, so really nice, clean victory from eOnZerG there. The Lings in the early stages didn't do that much damage. Hawk held on, but the counterattack didn't do much. But actually, I noticed that Hawk was down to a drone the entire game. Like, it was 8 drones for eOnZerG, only 7 for Hawk. So actually, in the end, Hawk's econ was kind of shot, and I think it was that creep colony that did him in. Really right there. Obviously, he lost that drone. But regardless, eOnZerG makes it through very easily. He kills Kame Zerg, then Hawk. I mean, he's in and out in like 12 minutes, right? Like, that's the total of both of those games, essentially. So nicely done from him. But this is going to set us up for Dandy versus Kame in the losers match. But before we go into that, first we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll find out who's going to face versus Hawk in the deciders match. right, guys, we are back. We're going to be getting into the final match of the day. It's going to be... oh, no, we're not. We're going to go into Kame versus Zerg. What am I talking? Kame
Yeah,
Zerg
Kame
versus Dandy.
Zerg.
Yeah, Kame versus Dandy. Then we're going to find out who's going to be facing off versus Hawk. We already saw Kame just lose just in pretty much to 5 minutes to Massling, so we don't even know what his current state is. And Dandy, he looked, fine, but way too greedy and got punished hardcore by Hawk.
Yeah, he did. Good. Absolutely punished by Hawk. I was like, dude, whatever, man.
Well, he was in that pickle jar and he wasn't able to escape this time. Like,
that was the waltz. He got pickled.
Yeah, but he got out of the pickle versus Crossy. But Dandy got in the pickle with the lurkers, not able to escape.
Yeah, he got. I mean, imagine that. Just imagine just someone shoving you down a jar and then just closing the lid on you. You just got pickled, man.
That would be a nightmare.
I know. I have dreams about that every day.
Actually, I was watching a TV show called Black Mirror the other day, and one of the episodes was... Have you seen that show? You have seen it.
Yeah,
but there's
I
an
hate
episode.
it.
There's this episode where they transported your consciousness into a device. So this guy was actually stuck in a snow globe just forever. And I was like, oh my god, he's stuck alone in this house in a snow globe forever. It was actually the weirdest, scariest thing I've ever seen on TV. And not scary in the sense you're freaked out. It was just very nerve-wracking. So,
yeah, well, that's the whole point of the show. It's very well, I get it, but anyway, not my cup of tea. I feel like sometimes it's a bit pretentious, and sometimes it's just there to shock you, but it is what it is. But it can be decent. I mean, I guess that's the whole point of artistry, is to evoke emotions and stuff like that. But you know what? I don't care. I'd rather watch BSL. Kame Zerg versus Dandy.
Yeah, so again...
Wait, you have Black Mirror in Korea?
Yes, Netflix Korea has it.
I'm just kidding, obviously. But nah, man, you know what I watch on Netflix? Okay, you ready for this? First of all,
with it.
the F1 show on Netflix is incredible.
F1 or iRacing?
No, F1, man. I started watching... well, Parks and Recreation is on
Did
Netflix
you see that
now.
flash come up? Good choice, Gypsy approved.
Yeah. That's actually really funny. No, I didn't. I was looking at Netflix, dude. I just opened my Netflix tab to tell you what my Netflix is about. I just watched Star Trek on Netflix, man. I started watching Enterprise, the newest one. It's so good. Underrated. Star Trek's just the best show ever.
I'm just gonna no comment this. I just want to get into the game. Shakura's Temple is gonna be the map. This is gonna be Kame Zerg versus Dandy. Loser here. He's gone. So we'll see who's gonna be eliminated from BSL in just a couple of minutes. In the blue in the bottom right corner, it is Kame Zerg.
The red in the top left corner, it is Dandy. So here's a question for you. Do you eat yogurt?
Yeah, yogurt's great.
Oh, you like yogurt?
Okay, well... Okay, let me follow up with this. Yogurt on the bottom or no? I mean, not yogurt on the bottom. Fruit on the bottom. Fruit on the bottom or no?
I mean, I eat the already fruit-infused yogurt with a bunch of sugar.
Okay, so yeah, that's the new style. But in the boomer days, when I was younger.
Oh, on the top or on the bottom?
Yeah, only had fruit on the bottom. There was never mixed. It was always you had to mix it yourself. I actually prefer that quite a bit.
What, you prefer it mixed or not?
No, not mixed. Mix it yourself.
That's insane. Oh, yeah. That's fine. Yeah,
it has more fruit. It's not mixed. It's not blended in. It's actual fruit chunks. I like that.
That's pretty dope.
Oh,
How
wow.
about
I
you
got
ever?
Gypsy approved by something? I can't believe it. I thought this was going to be disaster after the Star Trek comic because you know I can't stand that show.
What do you mean yogurt's great? But I'm surprised because whatever. I was drinking this yogurt probiotic shot. It's
Mhm.
like, do you drink yogurt sometimes?
I've tried it. It's okay, but I just like
Okay, so
regular.
you're more about the eating. Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah.
All right, you passed this one.
Oh, thank you. I got Gypsy approved for this. It's a record. I'm having a good day today.
Yeah.
Now we see Kame Zerg with 12 hatch here. Dandy, meanwhile, this is gonna be a last scout for him. Now remember yesterday, Ultra still put down that command center without scouting the Zerg player. So we'll see if Dandy's gonna go for that too. That would be very risky. We see that he's not gonna get punished if he ends up going for that now. Kame Zerg doesn't. Oh, he built an extra drone here, so that's nice for him. He's gonna get away with that extra drone. Oh, double scout for Dandy, so that's great for him.
Yeah, double scouting here, I do 100% approve of. And, we're not going to see any of that crazy Ultra putting down his command center before confirming the 12 hatch. So far, though, Kame is going to go for the 3 hatch play. I like that, too.
Yeah, so 3 hatch for Kame Zerg. We are seeing it more often these days. But I actually think this is not the build you want to play versus Danny because he will just 5-racks you. And, I mean, he already nailed it versus 2 hatch. 3 hatch is going to be even better for him. He does confirm the hatchery timing. He's going to go for that command center follow-up. Looks like it was, again, just a single Marine. So that's fantastic for him. Drone comes in here, confirms that it is command center. And 3rd hatch gets spotted.
Oh, doesn't get the gas block, though, so that's kind of unfortunate. But, yeah, so far 3 hatch here. And another gas from Dandy now. This time around, this gas is just a bit later. I think that was a 20 gas or something. And, that, I mean, it does change the timings a bit, but, it's still going to be fine. Cross spawn, I do like this build a bit more, because you just have more space to work with. But we'll have to see if Dandy goes balls to the wall, like, makes no bunker, just doesn't care about what Zerg's doing. But actually, wait, I forgot, this is a 3 hatch, so...
Oh, 100% he's doing that. If he's going to not build a bunker versus 2 hatch, yeah, no doubt he's going to not build a bunker versus 3 hatch. We'll see if Kame Zerg has better luck with the SCV getting picked off with the Lings. That's a 345 Academy comboed with standard eBay timing. So not only is he going to have +1 done fast, he's also going to have his range and stem done very quickly. Now, the SCV is going to get picked off pretty soon. So actually, this time around, not as great of a scout timing for Dandy. Now, oh, what's that drone doing? That could be a Hydra Den or an evolution chamber. It is Ultraman coming in for our Zerg player, assuming he can get to that stage of the game.
Yeah, actually, I'm surprised. I thought for sure that was going to be a Hydra Den, but, the Hydra, the Lurker all in off 3 hatch is just kind of, the timing is very, very late for that, so not the best build. This bunker from Dandy is nice against like mass Ling all in, but it's completely worthless in every other situation, so that's one thing to be aware of. And he's actually clogging up the circulation, like his own circulation, quite a bit, and this bunker doesn't really cover the bottom mineral patches, so that's going to be kind of a problem for him if Kame Zerg chooses to abuse that. But so far Kame Zerg is making a lot of drones. Link speed has come and gone, and there is no like link flood for him, so it is going to be a much more passive playstyle. But at least this time around, I do like that Dandy actually did build a bunker, as opposed to Hawk. So I think versus Hawk, it was a very kind of deliberate choice against the player, but against Kame Zerg, he is playing more safe.
Yeah, what I'm mostly looking for right now is what Dandy scans. If he sees the evolution chamber, I think he will cut units to just tech extremely fast to try and match the +2 weapon upgrade. Or he might just, put down even more racks and try and bust him before any of those upgrades actually come into fruition. And that is a perfect scan. Not only does he catch the Spire, he catches the evolution chamber too. an amazing scan. So I've got my eyes set on Dandy's main. What's he going to do? Is he going to cut units? It looks like that might be what he's going to do. Oh,
Could be. It could be, but I mean, so far it looks like it was very standard from both players, though. This factory timing, we'll have to see when it comes down. Not quite yet. Kame Zerg is going to make a bunch of Mutalisks. And at this point, you know, Terran's just going to put down the turrets, cut a couple SCVs. So very, very standard from both players. Now, versus Crazy Zerg, I mean, this can be really tricky to play against, but we'll see here if Dandy can execute well. If he goes into double starport, which should be the standard, he should have enough vessels to deal with it, but, you know, it comes down to execution.
Well, first few Mutalisks are being produced, +1 weapon already done. Factory, I think either just started or started a few seconds. Yeah, just started. Meanwhile, Dandy sent out an SCV trying to see if there is a third base somewhere. We see there is no third base, and that is second evolution chamber and just tons and tons of sunkens coming up. That means that Kame Zerg is just going to go for a backstab here, and this might actually catch Dandy.
Yeah, this is insane from Kame Zerg, and the thing is, he's not even taking a third base, so this is really, really tricky. Actually, Dandy might just die to this. I mean, he's going to take a lot of damage from these Mutalisks, and that is a lot of Mutas. That's 9 Mutas. They can one-shot every SCV. They're going to wreak havoc. They can delay the factory as well, kill the Marines if they just trickle in here. Look at how many sunks there are. But actually, he does not kill any of the Marines. He's going to go to the natural instead, not killing... Okay, focusing the turret down now, but not the most efficient harassment, but, I mean, it's getting the job done, obviously.
Yeah, this is great. Not only does it kill a lot of SCVs, he still has 9 Mutalisks left over. He might be able to take down this turret too.
God.
SCVs have been pulled from the main down to the NAT, from the NAT back to the main, and the factory was delayed. And that's all you need for Crazy Zerg to be successful, is you need to delay the tech. You need to get to +2 before Terran gets to +2. You can see that Kame Zerg isn't even building more Mutalisks. He's just simply powering into that hive tech. Now he might lose all these. Oh my god, he's gonna lose them all. Now that was a big misstep.
Yeah, that was a big misplay. And you can see Zerg, despite that, I mean, Zerg now without the Mutalisks, look at the gas bank, 500 gas, has no econ, only 3 hatch here. Even if he gets ultras out, I mean, how many ultras is that gonna be? It's like gonna be maybe 3, 4.
Yeah, I don't. Oh wow, it's gonna be a tank push follow-up. I think that's actually Dandy's only option because everything's been delayed so much. But that means he's all or nothing really with this push. He has no +2 follow-up. He has no gas mining at his natural. He's even floating a lot of gas. But Hive's already done. Ultralisk Cavern is gonna be started pretty soon. And +2 is going to complete also pretty quickly because that evolution chamber went up extremely quickly. I actually think +2 might be halfway done. And Kame Zerg's expanding all over the map. He just needs to get 1 base up, and he's going to definitely take this game.
Yeah, I'm surprised he delayed his starport this much, Dandy did. I mean, he can still start the starports, you know. Sometimes,
oh my god, really?
Kame's just going to go for this counterattack with the Lings, and there's no Marines in the bunker. This is incredible. This is going to do so much damage, and probably Crack is done, or soon to be done. And Danny's just going to go for the bust, but that is sunken defense that Kame is playing. He's in the UMS section, not the melee section, but that's so many Marines. I feel like he's going to bust through. He does have 1-1, which is exactly why he's going for this, and he's going to kill Kame's natural. Drones are getting pulled. Only 2 sunks remain, so medics healing the Marines up. The Ultra Cavern is probably finished, but I mean, it won't have time to get more to get the Ultralisk upgrades. I don't know though, Nyokin. I mean, this is a decent amount of Marines left over, but can they end the game?
I think they're going to end the game. There's 1 sunken left. Ultras are not out just yet. As you mentioned, Chitinous is not done. He just GG's out. So the one timing that Dandy had to win the game, he's successful with it, and it looks so good for Kame Zerg. actually can't believe those Marines were able to bust through. I didn't realize they had 1-1. I thought they only had +1. And Kame's Zerg's going to be kicking himself because he had drones sitting there to build Sunkens, and he decided, nope, I don't need any more.
Yeah, and I mean, he also had Mulists and Lings, and I don't know. It's just really, honestly, if I'm Dandy, that was like a really dicey game, man. Like, it just never feels good. We almost lost there, but he pulls through. And Kame, like, the thing is, I feel like that build, it's scary as a Terran, but the reality is, I mean, Zerg's got no eco. And if Terran just stabilizes and goes into 2-port vessel, like, yes, okay, you're never going to have the upgrade timing on the Zerg, but how is Zerg ever going to have gas to kill your vessels? How is Zerg ever going to stop you from just floating, flying your vessels over their Ultralisks and just irradiating everything before any fight starts? I feel like you don't have to panic that much in Dandy's situation, though. His upgrades were really late, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, what you're saying makes sense, but he had to have started +2. If he doesn't start +2, that's his only move right there, is to bust. He'll just lose. I mean, 1 Ultra will just kill everything. It's not going to die. So Dandy makes the Hail Mary work. Kame is obviously not happy about that. If he doesn't die there, he wins the game 100% of the time. The lane counterattack was fantastic, but unfortunately doesn't matter because Dandy had an unstoppable Marine Ball. He's going to be moving on to face Hawk, and this is going to be a rematch. We already saw Hawk and Dandy play, and Hawk got the best of him with a nice mass lurker play.
Yeah, it is going to be a rematch, but this type of rematch probably is going to favor... it's going to favor Dandy, like, because honestly, everything was going well for him. And then he kind of just lost the game. But this time around, he can just kind of have that at the back of his head and not get caught off guard like he did versus Hawk. But Hawk as well is going to have some opportunities to make some adjustments here where, for example, I hope he watched the replay, but he should see that Dandy got away with absolute murder. So hopefully this time around, I don't know, maybe he makes a group of Lings, even if he doesn't go all in with them, like puts on a bit more pressure. Because what's stopping Dandy from doing that again?
I mean, not much. Dandy will just try and get away with the same build if he can. He loves 5 racks. We've seen it pulled out twice now. Once versus the 2 hatch, once versus the 3 hatch. Again, statistics show that Hawk is a killer versus Terran. Only 15 games played. I actually like Hawk in this because we saw the lurkers catch Dandy off guard. He was way too aggro with his initial bio ball, getting picked off twice. And then he almost let it slip away versus Kame. To the mutas, really. Even though he saw that Kame was going for mass Sunkens, he still had his bio ball across the map. Why? What's the purpose of it being across the map? You can't bust those Sunkens with that tiny army. So I actually feel like Dandy is making some kind of simple mistakes, and I do like Hawk's chances here. Now it is Shakuris. What are your thoughts for Zerg on Shakuris here?
I don't know, man. What are your thoughts? Shakuris is such a... We talked about this yesterday, but this is like the ultimate Terran map. It's so bad for the other 2 races against Terran. So.
Yeah, you can see it in the percentages. 66% win rate versus Zerg for Terran. So let's find out who our second place finisher is going to be. It's the final game of the day. Dandy versus Hawk coming right at you. In the red, our NA hopeful. It is Hawk.
In the top right, in the Terran, or the blue rather, is the Peruvian Terran Dandy.
And I just realized that
it's the blue player Dandy.
I just realized we might have Dandy just instantly out in the round of 24, one of the best South American representatives. Yeah. And all that South America is really going to have left is Ultra and Terra. Of course, 2 fantastic players, but you really want to have, a BSL champion representing your continent. Now we have vertical spawns here. I only point that out simply because Dandy scouted horizontally last game, so he may not get off a first scout this time.
Well, Dandy scouted clockwise, which is what you should do. So I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't first scout Hawk here, but we'll see. Hawk is not going for a pool first, doesn't seem like. Which is interesting. I feel like Dandy is the type of player who might whip out the 8 racks more often than not. Ooh, okay. Overpool.
Yep, so this is going to be an overpool opener. Now, my opinion on overpool is you better be getting a fast gas, because if you're not abusing the advantages of overpool versus a Terran player, where Terran really does rely on critical mass to be effective. So we'll see what Hawk opts into. If he goes into 3 hatch, I really hate it. It would be surprising if he does that. Now we'll see. Okay, it's gonna be a clockwise scout. So Gypsy the Prophet here. Dandy is going to get the first scout off. I like that.
Yeah. Well, you know what I don't like?
What?
Not milk.
Oh, that's right. I mentioned in the chat that I can't stand milk. I actually hate milk.
That's crazy, man. Imagine just eating yogurt. I bet you love ice cream.
Yeah, I do love ice cream. And
okay,
actually,
what's your ice
chocolate.
cream?
Rocky Road.
What's
Rocky
that?
Road. Do you even?
Is that like some Baskin Robbins flavor?
Yeah. No, it's popular flavor. Rocky Road. It's chocolate, marshmallow, and nuts.
Okay, let's talk about like simple flavors.
Is that not simple? Chocolate, marshmallow, and
you
nuts?
just said Rocky Road. How does that sound simple?
I like chocolate then. Is that simple enough?
Oh my god, that's disgusting.
You're a vanilla guy?
Well, I used to be, but now I'm a strawberry person.
That's even worse, man. Come on.
How's that worse, bro?
All right, well, I'm sure in the chat I'll see a lot of
people are going to be cringing hard on your
nobody's going to be upvoting strawberry. Come on now.
What do you mean? Strawberry is the patrician's choice.
No. If you're a chocolate
it's what
fan,
in ancient Rome, like the high class, that's what they ate: strawberry ice cream.
Okay, so you're saying you're high class? Well,
here come the Lings, though. There's no bunker, and the Marines are gonna die. No, they're not. It's close though.
Maybe there's 2 more Lings. Oh, look at this stutter step micro. Oh, the SCV control is fantastic too. But that was a dicey situation. Dandy tried to get ultra greedy again. Oh, actually, Lings from the back. No, not enough DPS. Oh, maybe. Can he get that? Can he get that Marine? He wants to, but not successful. Meanwhile, Hawk, I think, is going into that 2-hatch play. I think he's already spent his 100 gas. Oh, maybe he hasn't, because he had 104 gas right there.
I mean, I'm thinking about what just happened, and overall, forcing the bunker. Did he kill any? He didn't kill SCVs. He did kill the Marines. This is pretty solid for Terran. I mean, the Academy is already coming up. The second Rax is up. Lair is done though. This is a really fast Spire, so that's one thing that Hawk has going for him, and I think it's exactly what you were talking about in terms of Overpool's strength, is that you can get an accelerated layers compared to kind of a hatchery first. So definitely like Hawk's follow-up here, but it is nice for Dandy to already have these 2 racks finished and to be getting this Academy. Plus, the fact that he's getting this SCV scout so late is going to allow him to push out here.
Yeah, and also what the opener does is it prevents Dandy from going for that bread and butter +1 opener that we saw Ultra and Dandy always use. Here come the Marines. I think Hawk already has a sunken in position though. Oh, no, he does not. So actually, this is going to go unscouted, and we saw a similar move yesterday from Ultra, and it killed so many drones. Hawk completely misses it. All of his Lings are across the map, and he's going to be kicking himself for letting this happen.
That's such a weird push from Dandy. Like, there aren't even
7
medics
Marines?
here.
What is this?
That is the most dice roll thing I've seen my entire life. This is the type of thing that it could have just instantly lost him the game.
Is he going to kill the hatchery?
I'm surprised that Hawk didn't even have vision. Yeah, Hawk is just trying to get Mutalisks out. But turns
Am I
out that
really watching this? This hatchery is dangerously low. The drones.
he's not focusing that down though.
Yeah, but he's got all the drones. All the drones are pulled. He has stim now, so he can. This is over. I can't believe it. A simple 7 Marine move and just rallied 2 racks. What?
Yeah, I don't know. I've never seen anything like this.
I have never seen this. Never ever. And what a greedy build from, or not a greedy build, greedy maneuver from Dandy. And it's going to get him a victory against the hatchery.
I mean,
This is such a sad moment for Hawk here.
I don't know how you die to this, man. Like, I don't understand what happened here. You should know with the SCP rescouting you that Terran might move out. I'm actually surprised Dandy didn't wait for medics or anything, but okay. Yeah. That's... Yikes.
Well, yep, there it is. Hawk GG's out, and he obviously is not feeling too good about that game because the Overlord just simply missed it. If he saw the Marines coming, he would have built Lings. He would have held it easily. The Marines didn't even have stim. They didn't have a medic. They didn't have stim. It was 5 Marines. The Lings already had speed. Like, in what world was that? Does that attack ever work? Also, remember the Lings moved out and killed a couple Marines. So if I'm Zerg there, I'm sitting there thinking like, what? How are you ever confident to make that move? But Andy made it work.
And the thing is, most of the time, without medics, without stim, that doesn't force anything. But
I mean, it forces a GG from Terran because Terran's going to lose their whole army and just leave the game.
Because they just lose. They
just lose their army.
He's on 2 racks, loses 7 Marines, and then Mutalisks are out killing your base, and you only lose those Marines to Lings. But Hawk didn't have vision or something.
Yeah, his Overlord was against the wall. It was as close to the wall as it could get and just missed it. Just flat out missed it. I can't believe it. So, anyways, Dandy wins and Hawk loses in heartbreaking fashion because his play on Polypoid was great. And unfortunately, he's going to lose in a devastating way, kind of similar to what we just saw how Kame Zerg lost.
Yeah.
So Dandy makes it through, but honestly, he got through barely.
Yeah.
So he needs to definitely refine his round of 16 because if he doesn't, that's not going to happen again. He was gifted these games today. But eOnZerG looked deadly. He just crushed through the Zergs today, so he's obviously as dangerous as ever. So nicely done from him.
Yeah, eOnZerG is the star of this group, kind of completely smashing through it. So definitely a good start to the tournament for him. Dandy is going to round up the second place for this group. Earlier today, we saw Jaeyoon totally upset the group of death, slapping Dawid and Gornich to get out in first place. And Dawid surprisingly eliminated in the round of 24, Gornich being the second place winner in this group. Man, I'll get there one time. At some point, I'll get there and not fumble on my words.
Well, it's very hard. You have to practice. I mean, I fumble a lot too. It just takes a lot of practice. But Gornich looked very, very.
You got to be there to recover my fumbles, man. Like in the NFL.
Nah, I just let you fall.
Who's okay? You ready for this one?
Yeah, hit me with it.
Who's Brady and who's Gronk?
Well, I gotta be Brady because I just give you all these passes on like, oh, what's this Terran doing? What's this Terran doing? I just give you all the freebie passes.
And I'm the one
who
does like I do the touchdowns.
Yeah, you do the touchdowns. That's you, man.
Yeah, that's true.
You, man. Yeah, okay.
I can live with that.
We agree on this also. I can't believe it. I'm 2 for 2 today. I get the yogurt. Okay, actually, I'm 2 for 3. I got the ice cream wrong apparently, but I was checking chat. No strawberry fans. No strawberry fans.
Yeah.
Out, so
first thing, Bond's reaction was so funny. I was reading that in the middle of the game. I'm like, oh my god, I almost lost it.
Yeah,
I don't get it. Strawberry's amazing, dude. What is wrong with you guys?
Hot take by God. But that's gonna wrap up the day. Group C and D are completed. Group E and A are already completed. And now, of course, we want to thank our sponsors for supporting the BSL and making the BSL what it is today. Of course, main sponsor is Esport Fun. Thank you so much for supporting the BSL. And then viewers like you out there for supporting the BSL can support us through Patreon. At the $100 level, we have Star Lover, Bombastic Colonel, Grail, Striker, and FTX Sony. Then at the $30 level, Tupacalypse, Druglog, Scott Wallfield. $20 level, Cuz, X Civil War X, Christian Eddington, Mad Cats Fury Road, Martin Hartnell, LML, Lincoln Pump, and all you other Patreon supporters. Thank you so much. And then, of course, you can support us with the shop.
Yeah, the shop, man. You can get the BSL merch. Be a bombastic, Mr. Bombastic like myself.
Yeah.
I almost started rapping the song, but I was like, that is not gonna end well. I'm still feeling like doing it almost, but I'm not gonna do it. So go check out the store, guys. Another way to support the BSL, of course, not just through donations, but the store as well. And also check out the YouTube, which is Zero, right? ZZZero. Or Bombastic Starleague. And that's where all the VODs get uploaded. So if ever you guys want to watch the games back or share the games with anyone, I mean, make sure that you follow the Twitch and tell your friends to follow the Twitch. But, you know, link the VODs from the YouTube and subscribe to the channel, because that would definitely help a long way. And hopefully, if we're lucky, the God algorithm will choose us as the next chosen ones. I don't know.
Yeah, well, hopefully that will happen sometime soon, and Bombastic Starleague will blow up. But that's going to be it for us today. But remember, tomorrow there's going to be another BSL day, and actually, Gronk himself is going to be playing in it. He's going to be playing in Group F. You're going to be the last group of the day, right?
Yeah, save the best for last.
Okay, save the best for last. We'll see about that. Tomorrow it's going to be Group B and Group F. We've got True Touch, Pitak, Michael, and Dragon.
That's
in
a
Group
sick
B.
group.
That is a very sick ZVP group. I'm all of a sudden very worried for Dragon, because Pitak and Michael, they are quite aggro. And then Group F, we have Gosu Dark, who also is quite aggro. Then Gronk himself, and Hit 'em Up, and Medino. So Zerg versus Protoss lineup, and then a Terran and Protoss lineup in Group F.
Yeah, make sure you guys tune into that one. It's gonna be sick. And yeah, last but not least, obviously, huge thanks to the community for making it all possible. Remember, we still have our stretch goal here, so for BSL 13, but you know, it's still very early in the season. And CRVT earlier with the cracked out $500 donation, like an absolute legend. Thank you so much, guy, in the chat. And yeah, that's it. I don't know. Well, I won't see you guys tomorrow, but Naokin and our special guest commentator will see you there. So if you want to, find out who it's gonna be replacing the Gronk himself on the caster desk, you won't want to miss tomorrow. So tune in, same time. All right, bye.